Hi, everyone. So, welcome to another Gremlin stream. It's nice to see you. Thanks, Elinore or Sybarite. And in this stream, we'll try and finish these two gremlins from the Bayou starter set. Ruffles. No, Bo Peep and Ruffles. Sorry, got them mixed together there. Hello, JoPJ. I'm here, your rescue. Thank you. That's nice. I didn't know I needed rescuing, but I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. It's nice to have company. So, how are you all? I've just moved this weekend, so things are still trying to get things ready, and background's a little bare. I'll try and get some stuff up on the walls and get things looking a bit more interesting. Got Jensa there over my shoulder. Got that in the mail today. Really excited to paint that up. Kyle, well, those are already looking pretty incredible. Thanks, Kyle. That's really nice to hear. Yeah, I think they're turning out pretty well. So what we are going to do first is I'm going to just paint the eyes of Ruffles yellow real quick. Might need several layers to do that. I painted them white first, but then I noticed that on the box art, Ruffles' eyes are sort of sickly yellow, and but that's fine because I mean, like, yellow covers better over white. So I'm using Bayou Sun Yellow to do this. So I'm just gonna give that a little coat, and then we'll let that dry and start working on, yeah, we're gonna start working on Bo Peep's hair, actually. Got a nice yellow there. Just had a love ratatouille. A love ratatouille? Wow. What does that mean? That you eat ratatouille with your loved one? Or something like that? So I'm grabbing some Citadel Dark Reaper. And I'm using that to like block in, like do the first highlight on Bo Peep's hair. And I want the hair to look a little like it's got this bluish black feel in the artwork. So I wanted to emulate that, and I might not go just as blue as the artwork, but I'm working with colder grays. So I think Dark Reaper is a pretty good start. So there's some pretty clear texture in her hair, like different segments of hair. So we're just picking that out with Dark Reaper. And then we'll highlight that more. Like painting hair is a little special. And I don't know if it's going to be an issue in this one, but like a good thing to keep in mind is that you'll get this sort of haloed highlight like on top of the hair. You'll see it now when I'm painting in my, I almost want to call it scalp cam instead of a face cam, since I'm just painting and you'll see my scalp constantly. So that halo sort of a highlight, something that is pretty useful to keep in mind while highlighting hair to make it look more natural. It's got like a special way of the light flow, like to get that sheen. But so far we're just like following along these segments. I'll paint the gloves black too, but I don't want to do that in the same color because I want them to read as like help read as different materials. Rage Quitwire, welcome. Hi. Can't wait to get my hands on this starter. I really like it. Like the miniature quality is great. They're very detailed and like they got lots of good texture, which is something people are sometimes worried about when it comes to pre-built miniatures. And I think these are just great. And like, I know some people aren't super happy with ski markers being cardboard, but like it's a very nicely priced starter box. So like I really think you get a good deal for what you're paying. And these miniatures are just amazing. I think I need some room to do some touch up on that fur. Maybe I shouldn't do that now, but I noticed that some of the fur, like Piggy. Use a little bit more like definition between the sort of stranded segments. Stranded? Ugh. Sorry. That doesn't make any sense. But yeah. If I have little pauses to massage my neck today, I hope you are forgiving because like I get a bit stressed naturally when it comes to moving, and when I'm stressed, I often clench my jaws in my sleep, which results in a very stiff back of the neck. So forgive me for that. Let's see, that looks pretty good. A little bit there. So how are you all doing? Are you doing well? I hope you don't have as stiff of a neck as I do. So next I'm grabbing some Citadel, I want to say Rust Gray. Yeah. And we're going to do just like thinner highlights in the same places. Trying to place them in like the middle or topmost part of the previous highlights. If you wanted this hair to be more blue, like I'm doing a cool, somewhat bluish gray, you could just highlight black with blue. With blue or turquoise. It often looks great. So that's a nice tip, I'd say. Like, try to not just highlight everything black, gray, or a neutral gray. Go with like a warm gray sometimes for like for example, on rocks and trees can be a warm gray. And a cold gray, and just try different ways of highlighting black and you'll get some interesting looks. I really like very cool blacks. So I kind of almost have to stop myself because I'll sometimes end up just painting all my blacks in a cool color, as in cold color. And some variation doesn't hurt, especially if you want to differentiate like different materials or areas. Kevin F, just popping in after work, looking sweet. Thanks a lot. Welcome. How are you doing? I hope you had a good work day. Yeah, I think she's turning out pretty well, or they, I should say. It is a duo after all. Duo, not dua. That's something else. There we go. Yeah, PJ, I'm actually sitting painting green skin from a brand that should not be mentioned. I see. One that shall not be named. But what was that? Love Ratatouille. What is that? Is it just that you love Ratatouille? Or is that a specific Ratatouille? Ratatouille? Can't pronounce that. Okay, so I grabbed some Citadel Fenrisian Grey off my palette and trying to like got a little blotchy there, but trying to put little highlights over the rust gray, the previous layer, leaving it showing like, but we got some highlights that we want to be like even brighter. Oh, typo, just a regular one. Sorry for pestering you about that. I was just curious. The ratatouille isn't too bad, right? It's a nice dish. I had a burger myself. Treated myself to that. So, Joseph Jones has liked the stream. Thank you. And Dead Aussie Gamer sends a lot of hearts. Hi, Dead Aussie Gamer. How are you doing? Wow, my brush control is a little off today. I feel like I get like want to do thin highlights, but yeah, Kitty, want to do thin highlights, but I keep getting them like a tiny bit thick today. What are you complaining about, Kitty? Okay. So that was my cat, Setkin. She doesn't play Malifaux, but if I play, she tends to watch. That's nice. And she's usually quite respectful of my miniatures. Once she did kind of she almost killed Sandeep. Yeah, you did. She knocked a wine bottle over Mr. Sandeep and destroyed his powerful Gada, like his scepter. So I had to repair that. She didn't like the look of him. I'm guessing, like, seemed a bit aggressive, she thought. Full of hatred. She didn't like that. So, like a danger with painting, with highlighting black, like you can run into this, and I feel like I did a little bit now. Like the black hair almost looks a bit like I painted gray hair because we did the highlights a little bit thick. So I'll be grabbing some Dark Reaper to sort of like adjust the brighter highlights. make them a little bit more like thin by painting Dark Reaper at the side of them. And then maybe I'll do some like reinforcing of the black shadows. Like maybe here. Ain't nothing wrong with being a gray-haired gremlin, like, because it means you've been a very successful one since they tend to die in droves in the stories. But I was going for black hair on this hair gremlin lady. So I'm sort of reinforcing those shadows with a little bit of black. I'd say that looks pretty good. We might want to add a tiny bit of white, like little dots to I'm not even going to mention what white I'm going to use because I'm using a shitty white color, but it works right now. Like, or maybe I should. Like, it's Citadel White Scar and it's not a good white color. Don't buy it. But I like using what I've got. So, like, for this step, it's fine. Just doing tiny highlights, but it's a color that gets like really thick in the pot very quickly. Very annoying. I do not recommend the Citadel whites. I do use Reap linen white quite a bit. I really like that one. So if anyone's got like a recommendation on any good white colors, I wouldn't mind you helping me out there. Because I've got good recommendations earlier, like, but it feels a bit so to be like, yeah, I'm gonna paint white here in the stream. This is not a good white. But yeah. Oops, dropped my brush. So we want those white highlights to be pretty small. Like the brightest part of the reflection. Okay. Now I'm thinking we'll do her gloves. I need to get a haircut. With COVID hair, you know. So I'm using Citadel Skaven Blight Tinge. And I'm going to highlight the gloves with that. We're going to highlight like the edge around here. I like a crease and raised areas of her knuckles. Ferak, or F3 Arak, or Ferak. Sorry for butchering your nickname. Hi there. Well, that pig's really coming together. Thanks a lot. Good/late morning, weirdos. Yeah? Good morning. And good evening for me. I'm across the pond in Sweden. Okay, I got a bed in real close now. So how are you doing, Ferak? Gonna highlight like these. Parts of the fingers. Edge of her glove, the crease. Like, where, right, yeah, that's her thumb. Like the ends of her fingers. Doing kind of thick highlights here because we'll go back in with larger ones. So Skaven Black Dinges is sort of like more of a brownish gray. Because we don't want, as I said earlier, we don't want the hair and the gloves to look like they're the same thing, you know. Frag, doing good. Putting a little paint on my EVS molds before I go to work. Nice. EVS. I was actually thinking I might do a little pause in the gremlin painting after these two and paint the harpooners for EVS because I got that turning tides box. EVS is cool. Myself though, I got Jed's Anya and McCabe when it comes to explorers. I'm gonna get a game in with Jed's this Sunday and probably one on Monday. So that'll be cool. Haven't played her so far, but I've played against her once. I played Kirai, and Kirai did really well in the first turn. I was like, this is going well, and then everything just went downhill. Spiredine, Oompa Loompa Doopity Doo, I've got a difficult question for you. Oompa Loompa Doopity Dee, do you remember this name on me? I do, right? I think Spiredine, aren't you Klaus? I think, from Finland. Your PJ white tip, if you do not mind thinning. Golden artist colors, Titan white. Thanks for the tip. I'll try and remember that. Okay, so I don't own any really natural follow-up to the Skaven Blight Dinge color highlight-wise. So I'll just mix some no, not that one. Citadel Rock Flesh. Like a light khaki, I'll mix that into the Skaven Blight Dinge to get like a mid highlight tone. Getting a sort of gray khaki-ish tone. Picking out the God, I don't know. We had this discussion before. I wanted to say digits of the fingers, but like picking out the knuckles and the these parts, the bendy bits, you know, that bonus. English isn't my first language, so there are a few words I do not know. Phalanges. Wow, that's a word. Gotta pick out those phalanges, right? Here we go. If we wanted to, we could do like these dotted highlights we did like earlier while painting the leather. Long E, phalanges. Maybe phalanges? We're doing that little dotted highlight on the edge of the glove to suggest it being a little worn. Phalanges. Phalanges. Welcome to Play Word, where we try and teach a sweet, strange English words. Oh. Kitty. Yeah. Might have noticed a cat tail there for like half a second. Don't know what she's doing. Cool, so we did that. I think we can leave the gloves there actually. Yeah. Phalanges. We did those phalanges. You learned this from watching Bones. That makes sense, you know? That makes sense. Okay. So, I'm thinking now we'll paint those feathers. So I'm going for some Citadel Macragge Blue. And we earlier painted this in a mix of Macragge Blue and Abaddon Black. And then I washed it with what's it called? Drakenhof Nightshade from Citadel. So I'm now going back over those feathers with Macragge Blue. Matthew, hi, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? English is my only language, and I've never heard of joints being referred as phalanges. Sybarite, not joints, the finger part of the fingers. Oh, I kind of meant the joints though. I just sort of forgot the word joints. I suppose we highlighted the joints. So I decided to paint I don't recall if the feathers here are blue or not in the artwork, but I'm painting the like the rooster's tail feathers in blue, like it's got blue feathers in the artwork, so I'm gonna paint those blue, and I thought I'd tie them all together. I don't recall where my starter box is right now because like I moved this weekend, so not everything is where I think it should be. But I'm getting there. But yeah, blue feathers. I was gonna try and say. Some like there's a texture to these feathers. I'm just trying to pick out the raised areas to make like exaggerated feather segments. So that looks pretty good. And so we got joints and phalanges. That's nice. Omapio, hi Elinore, I remember you from Hobby Hangout. Enjoy your work. Sorry, what Hobby Hangout? Do you want to help me here? Because I'm a little confused. I'm easily confused. Going over to Ruffles, our mighty rooster. We're gonna go over those feathers with some crack blue. Could dry brush these, but I'm not going to. It's sort of like want a cleaner appearance, so I'm just painting all the segments somewhat neatly, like it doesn't have to be extremely neat, but it is a group on Facebook. I could have sworn you were part of it, but maybe it is just the weird group. I do post in a weird place, but I don't think I'm part of a group called Hobby Hangout. No, maybe you got me confused, or like with someone else, or you're just confusing the groups. Or I'm just confused. I mean, like, I'm kind of perpetually confused, so I'm sort of resigned on the whole, like, hope of not, like, knowing what the hell's going on. Like, no, that is it. Weird place. I'm confused. Yeah, I'm a weird place for sure. Okay, so maybe I'll get the camera just a tiny bit higher up. Sorry, don't want you to get seasick. I've been at a weird place for a very long time. It's a nice group. So how are you doing, Omapio? Talking is apparently hard today. Boop, 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 boop. Little hair there. Dust or something. Like you could kind of overbrush this if you want to. You know, I was reluctant to dry brush it, but I could just like think the texture is like clear enough to like overbrush it with, because this step we're gonna do another highlight of this. So like overbrushing, it's a little difficult to show that on these feathers because the rest of the model keeps getting in the way, but like you don't dry off the brush like when dry brushing, but you drag it over the texture. Not parallel to the lines, but like the reverse. And then you will get that color on the raised areas without it looking chalky. Not saying dry brushing is bad, it's just I find it looks a little chalky. Depends what you use it on and how. Like there are some mad dry brush wizards out there. But we want this sort of thicker highlight. I've noticed Ruffles is a little difficult to paint on the stream because like it's like you get a lot of angles where you just looks a bit weird. And sometimes there's stuff in the way, so you won't see it. But I mean, what can you expect? It's a crazy rooster. So underneath the feathers, I feel like you really don't need to be as neat either because you're gonna kind of, if you want to, you can just dry brush that because you won't see much of it. But I think what we are gonna do instead is we're not gonna highlight the underside as much because it wouldn't catch as much light. So that's a perfectly good excuse of like not spending too much time on something you're barely gonna see. PJ, if you do not mind bad control, dry brush is king. It is also king in destroying your brush. Yeah, true. Dry brushing is great. And I was spoken about this earlier in an earlier stream, but I just often get worried when people use it as like the answer to everything, because especially I think a lot of Malifaux miniatures don't really look very good dry brushing because they don't have the exaggerated detail and textures that many other miniatures have. I feel like a lot of Malifaux miniatures don't lend to being just completely dry brushed. There we go, that's the back tail feathers painted with macaque blue. Then we got a few more feathers on its left wing and leg. Spiridine, I love how my Twitch is bilingual. Apparently this is art and it is creative, but it is also engelska. What, like a category? Oh, you mean like that? Yeah, that is quite bilingual, yes. Looks great. Yeah, the tags. So I noticed that we got some yellow on the side of the eye. I was a little bit sloppy apparently, base coating that eye. We'll go back to that in a few seconds. I get annoyed whenever I see it. So I missed like the upper part of this eye and then painted yellow the lower part where it really kind of maybe shouldn't be. But I feel like we want another coat anyway. So this yellow is pretty saturated and that's fine. We're going to add some white to it soon, but also like, that's the wrong color. We don't mind the eyes being drawn to the eyes of this fair creature. I mean, not one bit. Okay, I want the eyes, like our own eyes, to be drawn to the faces of these meanies. So I'm jumping back and forth a little bit here, but I'll add some, what do you call it, sun yellow to highlight the eyes. Now it turned into const. Yes, interesting. The Dwarf 86, I thought Agrax Earth was the answer to everything. Yeah, kind of. Like your BJ says, liquid talent. I don't know if I agree, but like washes do make things look pretty good without a lot of effort. Washes are nice, for sure, but they are certainly not something you should see as obligatory. Some people, I know some YouTubers actually argue that you should just try and not wash stuff. Because reasons, I don't know if you want to go into that, but like it alters the but they're talking about like super fancy painting mainly. Washes really alter the surfaces you're using them on. But washes are a great tool. I'm not trying to argue anything otherwise. you want me to paint blood vessels in the eyes? We can do that. Yeah. Cat said, mm. So I don't know if that means yes or no. Sounded like a no, but I was a little confused what I was saying. I like washes, they're nice, but like, don't feel like it's an obligatory step to just wash everything with something. You can just paint too. I guess that's what I was trying to say. Is Agrax better tasting than the G-Dub old red foundation paint? Okay. So Agrax is better tasting than a console paint. I don't know what we're gonna do with that information. 486. I'm like, what do we do with that information? Okay, so I got sidetracked with some white, and I'm putting little highlights on the beak and the like top edge of the claws. Oh, I think I got stuck looking at the Twitch chat. So if anyone said anything like on Facebook and YouTube for the last like 5 minutes, I'm sorry if I missed that. I don't think I did, but might have. If you want good tasting paints, I recommend Colors for Baking, says UPJ. Well, thanks. That's very helpful. Do we want red veins? We'll leave the eye for now. We'll continue our little feather painting quest. And I'm gonna use some Calder blue. I don't know if that neck crack was picked up in my mic, but it was pretty loud. My neck is a little sad. So we're now making these little like little almost oval dots to highlight the feather segments further. We obviously want to leave some of the previous color, macrame blue, showing. Might as well just highlight the I don't know what's it called, like the middle of the feather, the quill, maybe, or the stem or whatever. Do you do a lot of baking, your PJ? Random thought, do people in Malifaux, like in the stories, ever eat anything baked? How far do we have left to make a Malifaux baking cookbook? It's a very random thought, I know. No, I kind of want to eat pastries. So yeah, lots of textures on these unis, which is fun. It also makes for some steps where it's like, yeah, we're gonna do this for a little while. So yeah, bear with me and Ruffles. Feathers are starting to look pretty good. I'm sure the Cult of December has a few recipes. Thanks, Kyle. That's true. That's true. Yeah. Some good old human pulsa. Curses or Curse 55. Sorry. I keep getting confused if it's like 5s or S's because it's like the font in the chat for the usernames is a little small. Instead of Malifaux burns, Malifaux bakes. I like that. That is the expansion we want. Do that for Christmas. Can we have that, Kyle? Can we have Malifaux bakes for Christmas? Might have to write some disclaimers for the Cold of December recipes, but could just call it mystery meat. Mystery meat soup. I'm thinking Rasputina likes her soup. Alternate Teddy Cookie Monster. I think that's a sort of copyright thing, but we do want that, don't we? Or is like the thing, whole concept of cookie monsters? I wonder if that's copyright infringement, or if it just, I don't know. The Cookie Monster is a good fellow. We all love him. Damn it, now I want to eat stuff. I want cookies. Cars 55. Why is this stew red? Is it because of beets? Yeah. Oh! Rasputina. Yes. Totally. Beets always make me think of Dwight Schrute. We need a beet farmer enforcer. Or just a gremlin called Dwight. I don't know. So I'm thinking, since Kyle hasn't replied for a while, he's just over there pitching the idea of Malifaux bakes to the other weird people. That's what I'm thinking anyway. I can't think of any other reason he's not replied to that. Can you? But I'm thinking Rasputina likes beets, to be honest. Like, beets are nice. So, yeah. Yeah, okay. Highlight. So many little. I mean, we're not picking out every single feather segment, sort of. We're kind of winging it. No, but we're like, if some don't get picked out, like, that's not gonna. People are probably not gonna see that. I think this should look pretty good. Kyle, the Bayou spit hog might be able to cook something up. Yeah, right. Those are cooks. They're nice. It would have been adorable if, like, Hoffman's title was him with an apron, just baking stuff with his baking robots. Like his new minions, KitchenAid. Francis KitchenAid. Weird Kim. Hey all. Hi Kim, how are you doing? Nice to see you here. Painting on Ruffles and Bo Peep is coming along. We don't have a ton left to do, I think. either I'll do the bases next stream, or I might do them as a YouTube video. I'm not decided yet. Doing okay, love his feathers. Oh, thanks. Glad you do. Feathers are kind of fun to paint. Or, well, I think so. I'm not sure what. Like, I know a friend's been painting one of these Lords of Change demons for quite a while now. They've got some feathers. But they don't stand up to Ruffles. Ruffles has the best feathers. So yeah, I noticed Ruffles is little rough to paint on camera. So you often get to see him like upside down and stuff. But he's one crazy rooster, so whatever. Yeah. Sorry for the silence there. Almost done with this step. I think though that we might want to do like some selected little highlights with an even brighter blue to make them really pop. So this is stream number 5 painting these, which means that we'll have been, or is it number 5? I think so. We'll have been painting them for 9 hours now, combined. Unless I just remember everything incorrectly. Okay, cool. So back to Piggy. Piggy's got some feathers too. Not attached to her body, but, well, they are. With, like, thread. It's a sort of decoration, I'm assuming. We'll do the same thing there. Just trying to put tiny little highlights, like in the middle of the last darker blue highlight. So I really like painting animals. I had a lot of fun painting Marcus's crew. I certainly wouldn't mind painting more pigs. So how excited are people for Malifaux Burns? Because now I am pretty excited. There we go. I'll now add some. Do we want to add white or do we want to do Fenrisian gray? Try Fenrisian gray. That's a pretty good highlight for blue. We'll do some Fenrisian gray, like selected little highlights. Like focusing on the fact that light is going to be coming from above. So we're just picking out little spots we want to give that little bit of extra pop. Okay, Kitty coming through again. Hi, Kitty. There we go. That looks pretty good, I'd say. Kyle, I'm super excited for Malifaux Burns, but maybe I'm a bit biased. Yeah, maybe, but still. So many great titles that haven't been revealed yet. Yeah. Yeah, I keep thinking, like, oh, that master, can't wait to see her, or like, I wonder what that's going to be. It's so cool. Looking forward to that Rasputin as chef title. Obviously. Is okay, so little fundraising gray highlights. Salty sea bass. New title for summer. Burgermeister. It's all about grilling and cookouts. I like that. Just wants to have a good time. Don't want to fight the Burning Man on an empty stomach now, do you? I'm interested to hear what Sonia thinks of the Burning Man. Like, what a newbie to flame magic, right? Am I right, Sonia? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Salty sea bass. I really think so too. Because we don't know who's falling to the Burning Man from like the guild, right? Or did no? Was that Nelly, right? I think it was Nelly. Yeah. So Sonia is gonna be like, you leveled in the wrong fire scales, noob. Curse 55, all his teeth, Jones, Malifaux dentist, most radiant smile in the Bayou. I like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, he's a bit of a shark. Like, he's scary, lots of teeth, makes for a good, terrifying dentist. Maybe he realized there's magical properties in gremlin teeth. So he's like, no, can't keep these teeth. Bad for you. Let me remove them. Summer Teeth Jones, Tooth Fairy. Yeah, just slap some cute wings on him and it'll be grand. Okay. Kind of like Eva. Yeah. Weird Kim. Sonia and Cheruf had a bad breakup. I doubt she wants him back. No? Yeah? Bad breakup for sure. I really doubt that too. Like, sort of, Cheruf. Because the Burning Man is like part Governor General Kitchener and part Cheruf, right? Okay, I think those feathers look pretty good. And now we'll go over to or for the typing, just wanted to go to the artwork, which I of course do have somewhere, but yeah, we're gonna do like a tiny confused little pupil here on the eyes of Ruffles. Looks cute, right? I like on the other side as well. I don't think it's fine if they don't face exactly entirely like same sort of direction. What a cutie. I think we're also gonna grab some white and do like a little dot in that pupil. That looks pretty good. I might gloss varnish these eyes later. Let's see. I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but like the pupil's got a good little highlight there. And we were speaking about veins. I think I'll leave that to later because we want to paint the clothes of Bo Peep and then all the metal bits so that everything's kind of finished. So for the clothes, we'll do since I'm working with the colors I've got on my palette, I'm actually gonna mix the Skaven Black Dinge I got left with some cracked blue to sort of dull that blue down. So it's a mix of cracked blue and Skaven Black Dinge. I'm gonna paint the trousers of Bo Peep with that. Don't want it to be very saturated because we don't want, like, the trousers aren't the main focus here. You don't want them to draw the eye. You want them to be kind of complementary. Salty sea bass. Now all I can imagine is the Burning Man rolling up to Sonia being like, "Oh hi, totally didn't see you there. Have you met my new flame?" It's not like I'm still into you or anything. Wow, that is not classy. Silly Burning Man. Ah, that's very nice. Might need a second coat for that. And we're going to paint the top with, I'm thinking rust gray. Going for a cool white top. We might want to outline fabric, like separate it from the skin. We can do that later. So when picking colors for a miniature, think of what areas you want to be like the main focus of your paint job. because I want the eye to be drawn to like the gremlin's face, the pig's face, and maybe these cool feather details. But I don't want her clothes to get much attention, so they'll be pretty neutral. We just paint everything a saturated color that can make the paint job look very busy. Got a little bit on the ropes there, so I'm just cleaning my brush quickly, grabbing some water to pull that paint off the rope. Wasn't entirely successful there, but oh well. Yeah, mistakes were made. Add some brown back onto the rope. Salty sea bass. This is probably a subject better left for Steam Powered Scoundrels. They did an episode on shipping recently. Oh, they did? I need to check that out because, like, I've done a few who do you ship posts on a weird place now. It's always fun. Like my favorite couple is Charis and Mayfang. But like that is just in my head. But they're and I'm thinking they're broken up. But they had a real flame there going. I'm thinking, but it's like they're too crazy and hot-headed to be together for any long time. So it was a short relationship, but they had some steamy encounters. That's all I'm gonna say. This is all official weird story. Totally. Okay, so I'll grab a little bit of Dark Reaper off my palette to paint in some little shadows in the creases of her top. And I'll try and stay in camera. That helps to outline the cloth a little bit. Salty sea bass. I go for Perdita and Ophelia. It's very one-sided, but I think Ophelia's imitation might be a sign of admiration and maybe an attempt to get Perdita's attention. For sure, yeah. It's gotta be weird for Perdita. Almost like, I almost imagine it like the situation with Colin Creevy in Harry Potter. That like kid who follows Harry around being like his #1 fan. But this one has guns. Okay, so Fenrisian Grey. Back to that. I also think that Never mind. Okay, so we're going for a sort of light gray top here. Painting the tops of those creases with Fenrisian gray. Nice bluish gray paint from Citadel. Well, Anya Rail Magnet, she looks pretty butch. That's all I'm saying. I feel like we need to do a little bit of black lining here because like I need to kind of separate these areas more visually. I'm gonna be careful with the black lining because I don't want it to look like too much of a comic book thing, but I feel like we need to separate these. Like I grabbed some black, but add a tiny bit of blue to not have a pure black. So the idea is to separate these different areas, like the clothing from the skin, a bit more to make them stand out better against each other. I've been a little bad following podcasts recently, so I have not, I don't think I've listened to any of those, but I'll make sure to give them a listen. Secondly, enjoyed your reveal podcast that you did. That was a lot of fun. And you did kind of go into the shipping thing a little bit on that, from what I recall. So using that previous mix of Skaven Blood Dinge and Macragge Blue, mixing a little bit black into that to do some shading on that. Whoops, dropped the brush again on the pants. Like between these little tears and underneath her belly. And on her behind the lower part of her butt. Which isn't gonna catch much light. Rumbling butts. I think we're going to just realize I might have to dig another paint up from here. Got some, I think it's called Reaper Brion Blue or something. The text on the sticker has kind of rubbed off. But it's a lighter version of that mix we just used, pretty much. It's a nice sort of desaturated blue. And we're gonna highlight all these tears. And underneath the creases, like directly underneath the dark shadow. Maybe a little bit above there. Pick out all these. Torn fabric. Do a highlight underneath the shading of the creases, or between, sort of. And we'll also paint like the upper part of her behind. Her lovely behind. Grab some of the previous mix to sort of try and blend this all together a little bit. with the big flat surface. We can add a little bit of Parisian gray to the mix, I guess, to make it a little bit brighter. Might do a khaki too if you want to. Sort of just picking what I have on my palette. Really pick these tears in her trousers out. And to like add another thin highlight here to the creases. That didn't turn out as thin as I liked. Looks pretty good still. So, anyone painting anything fun right now? Whilst following along the stream? What do you have on your paint table right now? I want to know. I really do. So I've unpacked most of the things, but I've still got like 5 boxes of stuff of the move. Unpacking is so much more fun than packing it up. But I kind of had to put a hold on myself and make sure that I rest a bit too, and not just like go in an unpacking frenzy, because I want to have things done pretty quickly, but still kind of feel like I should probably try and be a little kind on myself and let it take a little bit longer. So Curse 55, you're painting a doppelganger. That's a cool figure. I do like the doppelganger. Salty Sea Bass, not at the moment, but I'm finishing up the Desperate Mercenaries for a stream on Saturday. Nice. Yeah, I think I saw your Desperate Merc, or like a test color scheme maybe. Look good. I have Wordscape Solarium that I'm lovingly putting together with photo documentation that I'm going to do a paint tutorial for it. Awesome, I'm looking forward to that. That is a beautiful model too. Looking forward to your tutorial. Be sure to link it somewhere I look, like, or yell at me or something. Yo, PJ, Greenskin Fantasy Football from a UK-based brand. Weird Kim. Oh, that game Mudmole, right? Yeah. Yeah. It's gotta be the one, right? So after this, we pretty much just got the metals left. I guess the hooves here could do, I don't know if they're called hooves, but they could do with some gloves. So I'm just doing little quick cocky highlights on them. Cloves, I guess. My bad. Who am I kidding? They're pig feet. Pig toes. I want to give that top of hers like a white highlight. Do piggies have little piggies on their feet? Wait, what? Did I say that? Yeah, maybe. Little piggies. Why wouldn't they? I want her top to be a little bit more bright. Doing this sort of dotted highlight I've been nagging you about. Just kind of nice for giving a quick sort of impression of worn cloth. Didn't really highlight this side enough compared to the other one. Probably just got distracted. So, are you doing anything like special for that doppelganger you're painting? Yeah, white little highlight on the pig snout, like on top, suggests it's a little wet. So I want the pig snout to be a little wet, a little moist. Chat posted to scroll. What did I do? Sorry. No, it's fine. Okay, so metals. I'm going to paint all the metal in Citadel Lead Belcher, which is a metallic color. I can do a bit of NMM, but I like painting metallic colors for gaming pieces. Not that NMM doesn't work for gaming pieces too. I just quite like true metallics. So we're painting the the belt buckle. And like these dental details, leaving a little bit of rhinox hide showing like in a rough pattern, because I'm thinking it's probably at least a little bit rusty and worn. Was there anything else in metal on this? All right, the earrings. She's got these pretty earrings. Piggy's got earrings. We'll pick those out too. And I don't use the same brush when painting with metal colors, because like they wear your brushes out quicker. I noticed the ear, like the tip had some paint rubbed off. I'm just gonna put some white on there. It's a little highlight. So that's that. And we'll go to Ruffles, who's got a little bit more metal. Hello, Ruffles. Ruffles got some pots and the kitchen knife, sorta. Because Ruffles is always ready to do some cooking. So we'll base coat those in lead belcher too. And then we got the gun, of course. Word Games is like the stream. Thank you, Weird. That's nice of you. We'll paint that awesome pistol. We don't really have much left to do. I mean, you can always like go back to different areas and make them look even better. But I'd say these are starting to look pretty damn good. I can say so myself. Those feathers are fantastic. Thank you, Salty Sea Bass. I'm glad to hear. Why do you think so? While that is drying, we'll pick out that brass and his ammo belt. Kitty. I'm grabbing some Citadel Brass Scorpion. Time's kind of running out, so maybe I'll have to, we'll see. Maybe I'll have to highlight and shade the metals. Like, we still got some time, but might not be 100% done with these miniatures today. But I'm streaming tomorrow again, the same time as today. And we'll definitely be done with the miniatures by then. Or then, I should say. Got lots of ammo, this one. Good to have. Good to have in a Bayou bash. Hi, got a kitty in my lap. Okay, so back to Bo Peep. And we'll mix some black with some lead belcher. Cat bomb for sure. And like shade this a little bit. I'm doing like, I mean, you don't have to do a lot of shading here at all, but like underneath, like on the sides and the underneath of the, like the bottom side of the belt buckle. And we're shading these Tuscan Hunters. That's what they're called, right? It's an official name. Tuscan Hunter. Just shading where I think light wouldn't hit much. Yeah. And then back to Ruffles. So we've got a little bit of overflow there, but we're gonna get some of that lead belcher plus black paint and shade the pots. And I'm gonna put the shading like this, leaving the lead belcher on the edges for like a highlight. And we're also going to put it up here because the cylinder, and we're trying to emulate how the light would probably catch it. We're not using a reference, but I'm thinking the highlight would be here. Kitty's drinking from my painting water, always a good thing. She's drinking from the cup I barely used though, so she's probably safe. And I'm shading the lower edge of the knife, like kind of a butcher's knife, and the upper edge. So I'm kind of almost doing very simple NMM techniques here, which you can do with true metallics too. Got some thin paint here, like dragging it towards the corner where I want it to be the darkest, like the upper corner here. got some lead belcher, watered down, putting it in the middle, like between those areas, the darkened area and the pure lead belcher area, to blend them together a little bit. Cats love that water. Yeah, what's up with that? Like, cats always tend to drink from the painting water. She's got her own water. I've noticed she prefers to drink from cups. But even though I give her her own cup to drink from, she still wants that delicious painting water. Ugh. Cats. And this side should probably not get a lot of light at all. I'm grabbing a little bit lead belcher, and wow, there's a lot of wind here. I don't know if the mic's picking up on that. I got the window open because it was really hot when I started the stream. The pistol I might actually wash. Okay, so I'm grabbing some mithril silver from Citadel, and that's a discontinued paint. I think the current one is Runefang Steel or Stormhost Silver or something. But my mithril silver is still going. And I am going to highlight these metallic parts. I'm doing like thin-ish. This brush wasn't the best. Thin-ish highlight here, like right before the sharpened edge of the knife. And on the top, and like on the edges, topmost edges of the pot, but also like a thin line on the pot where we decided that the, damn it, this brush is being mean to me. Where we decided the highlight to be. So like in the middle of the pure lead belcher part, we're doing a silver line. Yeah. So we're running out of time for this stream. So we're going to wrap this up, and I'm going to put a black wash on the gun for a quick shading, and then highlight it off screen maybe. And we're going to make little highlights on the gun belt too. And then we're pretty much done with these minis, I'm thinking. Yeah, we just have to do the bases. So tomorrow at noon EST will be, that is the same time as the stream, we'll be looking at the miniatures completed, and might actually start to paint some of those EVS models, because I might do the basing off screen. Anyway, thanks for joining me for this stream today. It's been lovely having you here, painting and chatting with you, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. If you want to give me a follow at Sybarite, what is that, lowercase dash? I keep forgetting what it's called. Sybarite Painting at Instagram and YouTube. Please go ahead, that'd be great. And I'm Sibhel at Twitch. Sorry, brain's sort of powering down here, I feel like. But yeah, been a lot of fun painting with you. See you tomorrow. Bye.